Why that person can't leave your head? The answer from Buddhist teachings in Zen Buddhism. Have you ever experienced the mental torture of having someone constantly invade your thoughts? That ex who appears in your dreams despite years of separation? The colleague whose words echo in your mind long after the workday ends? Or perhaps that person who hurt you, whose face materializes in your consciousness during the most unexpected moments? There's a profound reason why certain people occupy our mental space with such persistence. And today, I'm going to reveal the ancient wisdom from Zen Buddhism that explains this phenomenon. These teachings, thousands of years old yet strikingly relevant to our modern struggles, offer not just understanding, but a practical path to liberation. In this video, I'll share 7 unmistakable reasons that reveal why someone has taken residence in your mind and the profound Buddhist solutions to finally free yourself from their persistent presence. Pay special attention to sign number 7. It's the most transformative and could completely revolutionize the way you view your most persistent mental visitors. Before we begin, subscribe to the Moon Mind Temple channel so you don't miss my next videos on spiritual growth and inner peace. Now let's begin. The first reason is attachment disguised as love. When someone occupies your thoughts constantly, you might believe it's because you love them deeply or miss them terribly. But Zen Buddhism teaches us to recognize a crucial distinction. True love brings peace, while attachment creates turbulence. If thoughts of this person cause anxiety, jealousy, or obsessive checking of their social media, what you're experiencing isn't pure love, but a form of attachment. The Buddha taught that attachment is the root of suffering, and this applies especially to our relationships. You keep thinking about them not because of love's purity, but because you've attached your identity, worth, or future happiness to their presence or approval. This attachment manifests as intrusive thoughts that refuse to subside. Notice how when you think of them, there's an underlying current of need or fear. Fear of losing them, need for their validation, or craving for what once was. This isn't the calm appreciation of true love, but the turbulent waters of attachment. The ancient Zen masters described attachment as holding a hot coal with the intention of throwing it at someone else. You are the one who gets burned. If this person's mental presence feels more like burning than warming, you're dealing with attachment, not love. Buddhist teachings suggest that liberation comes from recognizing this distinction and practicing what they call loving kindness, a love that wishes well without needing to possess. The second reason is unresolved karma. According to Buddhist philosophy, karma isn't about punishment, but about completion, unfinished emotional business that seeks resolution. When someone won't leave your thoughts, it often indicates karmic entanglement, an incomplete lesson or unprocessed emotion connected to them. Perhaps they hurt you, and you never fully acknowledged or processed the pain. Maybe you hurt them, and guilt lingers beneath your conscious awareness. Or possibly, they represented a crucial life lesson that you haven't fully integrated. This karmic connection acts like a mental magnet, continuously pulling your thoughts toward them until the lesson is learned or the emotion is processed. Buddhism teaches that nothing happens by accident. Each relationship serves as a teacher. Those who occupy our thoughts most persistently are often our most important teachers, though rarely in ways we would choose. If someone remains in your mind despite your efforts to forget them, ask yourself, what lesson am I avoiding? What emotion remains unprocessed? What truth about myself am I refusing to see? The persistent thought isn't the problem. It's actually pointing toward the solution, a lesson waiting to be learned. Reason number 3 concerns projection of the shadow self. Zen Buddhism, like Jungian psychology, recognizes that we all possess a shadow, aspects of ourselves that we deny or repress. Often, the people who dominate our thoughts represent projections of these disowned parts. If someone's confidence triggers constant thoughts about them, you may be projecting your own repressed confidence onto them. If their perceived flaws occupy your mind, you might be seeing reflections of qualities you refuse to acknowledge in yourself. This projection creates a powerful psychological hook that keeps them in your thoughts. Your mind is actually using them as a screen onto which you project the movie of your unconscious. The Buddhist practice of self-inquiry involves asking, what quality in this person triggers me most? What aspect of them do I find myself constantly thinking about? The answer often reveals a disowned part of yourself seeking integration. Buddha taught that true understanding comes from recognizing that others serve as mirrors, reflecting back parts of ourselves we have yet to acknowledge. When you reclaim these projections, the person's hold on your thoughts naturally diminishes. The fourth reason involves attachment to outcome. Buddhist philosophy emphasizes that suffering comes from clinging to specific outcomes rather than accepting what is. When someone occupies your thoughts relentlessly, examine whether you're fixated on a particular outcome involving them: reconciliation, revenge, recognition, or romantic reunion. This attachment to outcome creates a loop of repetitive thinking, as your mind continuously rehearses scenarios that might lead to your desired result. The Zen concept of beginner's mind teaches us to approach each moment freshly without predetermined expectations. Yet when someone dominates our thoughts, we're often trapped in the opposite state, a mind cluttered with expectations and outcomes. You can recognize this pattern when your thoughts about the person consistently lead to the same fantasized scenario or conclusion. Buddhist practice suggests releasing attachment to outcome through acceptance of present reality, however uncomfortable. I sincerely hope you're finding value in these insights. If so, please support Moon Mind Temple by subscribing to our channel and sharing this video with someone who might benefit. Your support allows us to continue creating content that fosters spiritual growth and inner peace. The fifth reason is identification with thoughts. One of Buddhism's most revolutionary insights is that you are not your thoughts. Yet when someone takes up residence in your mind, you've likely fallen into the trap of identifying with thoughts about them. Instead of seeing thoughts as passing mental events, like clouds moving across the sky, you've begun treating them as reality itself. Every thought about this person feels significant, true, and demanding of attention. This identification creates a feedback loop. The more you identify with thoughts about them, the more frequently these thoughts arise, and the more real they seem. Buddhist meditation practices focus on creating distance between yourself and your thoughts, observing them without becoming them. When you think, "I miss them," try noticing there's a thought about missing them instead. This subtle shift creates space between you and the thought, weakening its grip on your consciousness. Zen masters describe this as learning to watch the river of thoughts without falling in and being carried away by the current. The sixth reason concerns the illusion of permanence. Buddhism teaches that everything is impermanent, constantly changing, including our thoughts and feelings. Yet when someone dominates our mental landscape, we fall into the illusion that our connection to them, whether positive or negative, is fixed and permanent. We believe the intensity of our thoughts about them will never fade, that the pain or longing will always feel this acute, that they will forever matter this much. This illusion of permanence strengthens their hold on your mind. By believing these thoughts will last forever, you inadvertently give them more power. Buddhist practice involves recognizing impermanence in all things, including your thoughts about this person. No mental state, no matter how intense, remains unchanged forever. The pain of loss, the sting of betrayal, the warmth of nostalgia, all are subject to the universal law of change. When you truly understand that these thoughts too shall pass, their grip loosens naturally. As the Zen saying goes, this too will change, not as a platitude, but as a fundamental truth of existence. The seventh and most profound reason is spiritual assignment unfulfilled. From a Buddhist perspective, certain people enter our lives as spiritual assignments, souls we've agreed to encounter for mutual growth. When someone refuses to leave your thoughts despite time and distance, they may represent an incomplete spiritual assignment, a soul connection with lessons still to be integrated. This goes beyond psychological explanations into the realm of spiritual purpose. Unlike other reasons, this one asks you to consider a perspective shift. What if this person's persistent presence in your mind isn't a problem to solve, but a profound opportunity for awakening? What if their role in your consciousness is actually essential to your spiritual evolution? Buddhist teachings suggest that our most challenging relationships often contain our greatest opportunities for growth. The person who occupies your thoughts might be the exact catalyst needed for your next level of spiritual development. Rather than trying to banish them from your mind, consider what awakening they might be pointing toward. Instead of asking, "How can I stop thinking about them?" ask, "What might this persistent thought be trying to teach me?" This shift transforms the relationship from a source of suffering to a doorway to enlightenment. Perhaps they remain in your thoughts not because something is wrong, but because something important is still unfolding. In Buddhism, this represents the transition from seeing relationships as sources of pleasure or pain to recognizing them as vehicles for awakening. The way out. Now, let's discuss the Buddhist path to liberation from these persistent thoughts. First, practice mindful observation. When thoughts of this person arise, don't fight them or judge yourself for having them. Simply observe them with gentle awareness, as if watching leaves float down a stream. Notice the thought without becoming entangled in its story. According to Zen tradition, what you resist persists, but what you observe with detachment naturally transforms. Second, investigate with compassion. Ask yourself, what attachment or lesson keeps this person in my thoughts? Approach this inquiry with kindness rather than self-criticism. Buddhism teaches that wisdom arises not from harsh judgment, but from gentle curiosity. When you discover the underlying attachment or lesson, don't rush to eliminate it. Simply understand it with compassion, knowing that awareness itself begins the transformation. Third, practice letting go through acceptance. The Buddha taught that letting go isn't something you do, but something that happens naturally when you stop clinging. Rather than forcing yourself to forget this person, accept their presence in your thoughts while loosening your grip on the meaning you've assigned to them. The Zen metaphor of open hands is powerful here. You can hold the thought gently without grasping it tightly. Fourth, redirect with intention. When thoughts of this person arise, use them as a bell of mindfulness, a reminder to return to the present moment. Buddhist practice suggests that rather than fighting the thought, use its appearance as an opportunity to deepen presence. Each time they come to mind, take a conscious breath, feel your feet on the ground, and gently return to now. Over time, the person who once represented mental imprisonment becomes an unexpected doorway to presence. Fifth, practice loving-kindness meditation. Buddhist tradition offers a powerful antidote to obsessive thinking through metta meditation, the practice of sending genuine good wishes to yourself, to the person in your thoughts, and to all beings. This transforms the emotional charge around the person from one of attachment or aversion to one of compassionate well-wishing. Begin with yourself. May I be free from suffering. May I find peace. Then extend to them. May they be free from suffering. May they find peace. Finally, embrace the stone in the river wisdom. There's a beautiful Zen metaphor that perfectly captures this journey. Your mind is like a river, and this person is like a stone thrown into it. Initially, the stone creates significant disturbance. Waves, splashes, ripples. Fighting the disturbance only creates more turbulence. But if the river continues flowing naturally, one of two things happens. Either the stone settles to the bottom and becomes part of the riverbed, or it's carried away by the current. Similarly, by allowing your mind to flow naturally around these thoughts without fighting them, eventually the person either integrates harmoniously into your consciousness or naturally fades from prominence. The key is not forcing the process, but trusting the natural flow of awareness. As Buddha taught, nothing is to be clung to as I, me, or mine, including our thoughts about others. When someone won't leave your thoughts, Buddhist wisdom teaches us to change our relationship with the thoughts rather than fight them. Your mind is like the vast sky. This person merely a passing cloud. Through mindful awareness, what was once torment becomes your pathway to freedom. As you practice these ancient teachings, you reclaim your natural spacious awareness. Thank you for joining Moonmind Temple on this journey. Subscribe for more spiritual insights that transform our modern struggles. Until next time, may you find peace with all visitors in your mind, knowing each brings a gift when seen through eyes of wisdom.